The following video is sponsored by Trust Ice. Go and play Trust Ice by clicking the link in the description. Yusuf Salah Erekat. Oh, my toaster just started floating. Alright. His name sounds like it had cast a spell on your enemies. Yusuf Salah Erekat Hamza Mohammed Iqbal Dave Mickey Keith, aka Fousey, is an OG YouTuber from way back in the day who has more loose screws than Stevie Wonder's IKEA flat pack furniture. Fousey is more unhinged than the front door of someone in the UK who's been swearing on Facebook, because of course, when you swear on Facebook over here, armed police barge in and arrest you under the Communications Act. A little bit of context for the few of you that aren't familiar with this bald-headed psychiatric patient. Fousey, along with Vitaly, ingest 950 grams of mushrooms and then go out and break a woman's jaw, ZDTV. And Roman Bonnie Blue Atwood, who met his wife when she was 17 and he was my age. But it's alright, because he's printed a few smiley faces on some t-shirts and told you to smile more. They were all major players in the YouTube prank scene. Nowadays, the only people who watch pranks online are our middle-aged mothers. And our middle-aged mothers spend the majority of their free time transiting Facebook and sharing between each other posts about how their BT Wi-Fi router is part of some government conspiracy theory to kill us all via radio waves. And yet they don't go and turn the Wi-Fi off, because then they'd have nowhere to talk about how Wi-Fi is dangerous. And although they're the only people who still watch prank videos, many years ago, everyone did. And a big part of that was Fousey. That's why it's so disappointing to see what he is now, which is, without exaggeration, a deranged lunatic. The man is insane. I strongly believe that unless a member of his team has a fully loaded tranquilizer gun at all times, ready to shoot a dose of local anaesthetic into the back of his dome, unless that's the case, then Fousey is a real danger to the general public.
Go to the car, go downstairs. You can't even walk upstairs without falling? Just go to the car, sit down, have a good meal. It's on me, I'll pay for it. Like I do everything. You guys are so good. Hey, you should write yourself a letter about how proud you've made me tonight.
This is Fousey firing his cameraman because he tripped over a step. Fousey is clearly, for lack of a better word, a dickhead. He seems to lose every single marble from his big dairy milk head the second anyone says or does something he doesn't like. And it's never anything justifiable. Someone could breathe a little bit too loudly around this man, and there is a 70% chance it'll trigger a psychotic break.
Get a credit card? I don't have my credit card. What do you mean, bro? I just need it for 2 seconds. I gotta pay my Uber. No, don't take a picture. Can I get a credit card?
No, I don't have a credit card.
Huh?
I don't have a credit card.
Hey, I was about to give you $1,000. You wanted a picture with me and you wouldn't even pay for my Uber. Go fuck yourself.
The fella wanted a picture with you. Why does that then equate to him having to pay for your taxi, you self-entitled, delusional, fruity Bradford man? On top of that, if you're a viewer of content creators and you see this fella, you watch his live streams and he's sacking his cameraman for tripping up a flight of stairs, you might still want to snap a picture with the deranged bastard before he inevitably shoots somewhere up. But you're not going to want him having access to your credit card.
It wouldn't be pussy if I didn't. I'm bled for this shit.
The Arab world's answer to Joaquin Phoenix is stood on a boat, role-playing as Batman's arch-nemesis, just without the makeup, except he's completely serious because he's an unmedicated Looney Tune, and yet the people around him are just pissing themselves. If this was anyone else, most normal people would express some concern, but Fousey just goes through cycles of being utterly insane every single year. I feel like I'm watching Groundhog Day with him. Like, I've seen this happen time and time again. The bloke gets better and then just goes nuts, and then gets better, and then goes nuts, and then it's like a fucking weird perpetual cycle. It never ends. And now no one can take him seriously, and I don't fucking blame them, especially because this was Fousey 24 hours later.
Look, I'm gonna try my best not to cry.
I've been under so much stress. Because I promised Eddie and Akil I wouldn't crash out like last year. I'm not even gonna sit here and say sorry but I'm trying to explain to y'all.
I'm not even going to sit here and say sorry, he says. And yet the caption to the fucking video is, so sorry. Brother cannot stay consistent between recording a video and posting it. That is 25 seconds.
Now that my adrenaline dumped and I'm back to Yusuf, and I open Twitter and I see what Fousey did, I'm like, I feel so much better now, though. I feel free.
This man legitimately believes that he is multiple different people, and that one of the people living inside of his head is going out and acting out, and then there's another person in his head who then cries over the fact that the other person is acting out. He probably thinks there's even more people in there. There's Fousey, there's Yusuf, there's someone who sells Big Issue, maybe someone else in his head is a single mother trying to make ends meet, selling washing machines on Facebook Marketplace. Perhaps another person is an accomplished writer, very professional, and they're all just living simultaneously inside of the head of a brown man who live streams himself high off ADHD medication. We'll watch more of Fousey in a moment. Right now, I've got to try and pay off my £8,000 debt to British Gas for leaving the big light on overnight by telling you about today's sponsor, Trust Dice. Welcome to Trust Dice, where the thrill of online gaming meets cutting-edge technology. If you're looking for top-notch entertainment, you've come to the right place. With Trust Dice, you have access to a vast selection of games. Whether you're a fan of fast-paced dice games, love the spin of the slots, or prefer the classic feel of live casino tables, we've got something for everyone. At Trust Dice, it's all about options. From dice games where you can control the odds, to thousands of thrilling slots with endless themes, and even a live casino for that authentic in-person experience. Play with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, or traditional currencies. Trust Dice makes it easy and safe, offering lightning-fast transactions, top-notch security, and fair play that you can trust. Ready to dive into the action? Join Trust Dice today and discover a world of gaming excitement where every second counts. If you end up hearing some background noise, some banging, I'm recording the rest of this video on bonfire night. It sounds like fucking Beirut outside, which is very fitting, considering the subject of this video is a Birmingham resident. On an actual note though, the fucking bangs are getting louder and louder. I don't know if I'm still hearing fireworks or if Mahima from next door has suddenly decided enough's enough and she's going to take the block out in aid of the fucking Taliban. Anyway, hopefully it's just fireworks.
I'm not even gonna say it. I'm out. No one's gonna know what city I'm in or where I am or where I'm going. I told y'all I quit this internet shit and I'm not lying.
Oh, bloody hell! That was posted yesterday, that. I'll have to get on the blower to Trust Dice and just let them know. Let them know that I'll have to scrap this video here. I mean, Fousey's quit for good, so there's no point even posting this now. Except for the fact that he posted again 12 hours later, skipping around the street in circles. There was a time, not too long ago, before the world tipped over onto its arse, before everyone started to look as if they all belonged on Canal Street in Manchester, back when most men still wore men's clothes, and most men still had penises. You know what I'm saying, don't you? The world was just a tad more normal. And back then, people like Fousey were put into special institutions, like Broadmoor, where we could monitor them, medicate them, and sometimes a fella called Jim would sneak in and have a little feel now and again, just up your dress, if you were too brain dead to inform the nurses. Now, people see a dangerously mentally ill man who's been off his antipsychotics for the last 4 years and decide that the best course of action is to give him a stream setup and unlimited 4G data, plant him in front of an audience on Kick, and just see what happens. Almost like it's one big fucking experiment. And a gay lobotomised Muslim bloke is the guinea pig. It's time to end this video now, as I sometimes do on a more serious note. We're going to talk a little bit about mental health. The majority of you who gravitate to this channel are, in my opinion, just as deranged as I am. So what I'm about to say won't apply to all of you, but there will be some of you who were watching this video and you saw clips of Fousey crying, followed by me laughing at his expense, and that might have had you a little bit uneasy. And I've got to say, I do not hold anything against you for that. Even if you now have a more negative opinion of me for laughing at a man who is clearly suffering in some form, that is absolutely fine. I think that is just a symptom of empathy. And empathy is a virtue that we should never ever let go of. So I salute you for it. However, I am going to explain to you now why I do not feel bad for taking the absolute piss out of Fousey. Fousey has done what he's doing now to some level and extent multiple times over many years. He has mental breakdowns, sabotages himself and the people around him, followed by a period of time where he goes absent from the internet and quote-unquote recovers, only for him to come back, not be able to handle it again, and fall back into the exact same pattern. When Fousey comes down from his erratic behaviour, he thinks and acts relatively consciously, and that is the version of Fousey that I think best represents him as a person. That same conscious version of this man is aware of his own actions, and more importantly, he's aware of how badly he ends up treating people when he goes through the motions. Yet he still makes a choice to come back to the internet year in and year out at the jeopardy of everyone else. There becomes a point where one's mental health can be weaponised. And I feel like that's where Fousey is at now. He clearly has issues. I think those issues are real. But I also think that he selfishly puts himself back into the limelight, knowing what the outcome will probably be, because he is addicted to attention. You cannot ever help a person who is not willing to help themselves. Fousey's behaviour deserves ridicule, and I hope that one day his own sense of self-preservation becomes a stronger force than his narcissism. When that happens, he will actually leave the internet for good, because he will realise that he is not cut out for it, and he is only hurting himself and, importantly, other people in the process. Thank you for watching. A special thanks as always to my sponsor for making this video possible. Go and play Trust Dice, linked in the video description. Bye bye.